And we're back to cover some World v World in the weekend event for beta. This is Guild Wars 2. We're going to be covering some Warrior World v World as well as some Necromancer towards the end of the video. So let's get to it and hop on this Warrior train. So this is my Char Warrior. I'm sitting here beating on this door. This is basically our fortress in the neutral part of the World v World. Basically at the start of beta, when we had logged in, the opposing teams, the red and the blue, had pretty much taken over everything, even pretty much our own side. So right here, as you see, we're in our starting area of the neutral area that all three teams converge on to try to capture. As you can see, the blue had taken over most of it, and so we're just trying to get back our foothold here on this this neutral area to try to start capturing things. I started out my warrior. As you can see, he's level 2. I just made my warrior and I jumped right into World v World. That's one thing that's really interesting about this is as soon as you're done with the tutorial, you just jump right in and boom, you're here doing World v World. Now, it's probably not the most efficient way to level, but you could do it, I guess, all the way to 80 if you really wanted to. But yeah, so we're all sitting here beating on the door. Now, normally you probably want some catapults, trebuchets, battering ram to try to take down this door. But we were all poor apparently and I couldn't afford any of that, so we just did this the old-fashioned way and beat on this thing for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes maybe. It was a while. Now normally you could also go through this relatively quickly if you have any of those assault siege weapons. You can also buy a really cool siege golem. I actually recorded myself in the siege golem tearing down a door, and man, that thing went down so quick it was ridiculous. I had so much fun with the warrior during beta. It was probably my favorite out of the 5 different professions that I played during beta. As you can see, I'm level 2 and I'm doing the World v World. I just enjoyed it that much, just the whole play style of it, and it was just really awesome. One thing that's really interesting about the World v World is these 3 servers are pitted against each other and trying to control as much as they can of the whole entire map, I guess you would say. And after 2 weeks, depending on how many points the servers accumulate, the top ranking server of the 3 moves on to another bracket with other winning servers, and then the remaining 2 servers are bracketed to other servers of their, I guess, same skill or slash point level. It's kind of made that way to try to even out the imbalance of, oh well, this server is heavy with a bunch of Zerg guilds, so a bunch of Zerg guild servers are going to be put up against another group of Zerg servers. So it's made that way to try to balance out the servers. As you see, we just got the gate down. I'm running in trying to catch this guy. I don't have any skills. I'm only a level 2 warrior. Although I've been up leveled to 80. That's what's really cool is you have the stats of a level 80, but you still have all your skills and everything of a level 2. So obviously you're not that beneficial, but overall you are. But yes, the World v World, the server versus server, really interesting way to think about PvP. It's not the first game to do a multi-faction like that. DOAC did that. They had 3 different realms, as they called them. That's copyrighted. But Guild Wars 2 is saying, instead of having 2 factions and having to worry about balances that way, we'll throw in a 3rd faction to make it more balanced for the overall experience of the open world PvP. It's really awesome. And I'm down. Somebody res me. Yay. Run away. Run away. So yeah, we took back our keep. There's still some blue invaders, it looks like. Oh, that's another real thing that I thought was really, really interesting. The names of other players don't appear. Like, say you're from the green server. If you're from the blue or red server, it says blue invader, it says red invader. It doesn't say anything about, you know, the name of the person. It does have your guild tag out to the side, but that's all that you can see. So it's really interesting, and I kind of like it, so you're not like, oh, it's that player, you know, we got a gun for them or whatever. It's more going to be based about like, oh, you're from that guild, so, you know, that sort of thing. I like that there's no names, you know, it's just kind of like a single unit, a single server working together and just trying to dominate the other server. It's really cool. I find it really interesting, and it sounds like a really cool foundation. You know, Guild Wars 1 was pretty fun in that aspect of pitting guilds against guilds. There's so many particle effects right now, it's so ridiculous. I'm trying to chase this elementalist right here, trying to get away. Bash him with my big hammer. So much fun. Yeah, but the world was definitely hands down the most fun I had the entire time. I probably spent, out of the 3 days, probably 60% of that, 70% of that was spent in the World v World. I did do a lot of the structure PvP, the maps, you know, the Battle for Kylo and the Forest of Nihilfel or whatever it's called. I really enjoyed that because it actually leveled you up to 80. You got all the 80 skills, all of your skills, traits, everything like that was all unlocked. So you actually got to play around with your builds, see what's going on. I'm probably more than likely going to play the warrior. Next beta though, I'm probably going to focus on playing a guardian, you know, level him up or her up, try to play her in open world and see how that is. I really enjoyed it in the structure PvP. A lot of defensive spells, stuff like that. The warrior, obviously, just a huge, you know, damage dealer. As you see there, I'm just swinging my hammer around. I really like the two-handed hammer, by the way. Had a lot of stuns, cripples. You can basically lock someone down and give other people the opportunity to DPS them down. That's what I really like about it, too. And what's really cool about this is, yeah, we just took back our main, I guess, keep and our zone in for the neutral area there on the bottom. So what we do from here on out is we just start going around our little area and start capturing everything. So we just finished capturing that. So we're actually about to head to a tower, I believe, start beating on that door and shake that down. Depending on if you're going after a keep, a garrison, a tower, or supply camp, depends on the difficulty and how long you have to actually beat on the door. Obviously, if you have siege weapons, it's going to go a little bit quicker. But supply camps, those are what supply your garrisons, your towers, and your keeps with supplies. And with supplies, you actually use the supplies to build trebuchets, rams, repair the door, stuff like that. So it's actually really crucial to get supply camps and to maintain those supply camps so you have a steady amount of resources going to your towers and keeps so you can maintain the oil, repair the door when needed. I actually didn't get a recording of it, but it was really awesome. I was on my, I believe my warrior. Yeah, I was on my warrior. And so at one point they're taking over our garrison, which is like our main area and our own lands and the green land. And this group of like, I don't know, 20 or 30 red invaders just come in. So it's basically me and 4 other people. The 4 of us held off this entire group by just steadily repairing the door, and they didn't have any kind of trebuchets or rams or anything, so they're just beating on the door. So we were actually repairing more damage than they were actually doing. It was actually really cool. It felt really awesome to know that just the 4 of us held off that entire team because they didn't have the resources to build any kind of siege weapons, and we were just repairing more damage than they can do. We ended up pushing them back to our outer door at that point, but it was really awesome, really enjoyable. World v World is going to be hands down probably the bread and butter of this game, in my opinion, just because I love open world PvP and stuff like that. Now the keeps and the towers, that's not a new thing either. Oh, we just busted down the tower door. Going in, killing the guards, about to go for the champion. But yes, the towers, keeps, you know, that's not a new thing either. Warhammer tried that. It was terrible. Guild Wars 2 seemed to really take that idea and make it better. Do what Guild Wars, what the team at ArenaNet does, and make it better and make it more enjoyable and an awesome PvP experience. I mean, the whole time doing this, I mean, you're just like, you feel so awesome because you're just these bands of people just running around all over the place, you know, taking over keeps and towers, and sometimes you'll meet up with, you know, a group of other invaders, you know, trying to take over stuff, and then you have these, you know, just little skirmishes between the servers, and it's just so awesome. I loved it. So we just took our tower, we took back our main keep, and now I believe we're actually going to be heading to a supply camp now to try to take that back, so we can start getting supplies to our area. It was really interesting through the whole weekend, you know. I mean, it was only a weekend, but it really went back and forth with, you know, green getting some of it. The green would get a whole lot, then blue overnight would just take over everything, then red during the day and the morning would take over it, and the green would come back and take back all their stuff. I mean, it was just literally a war between the servers. It was so awesome. I was just kind of checking out what's going on. Apparently, as we were going after the supply camp, somebody had taken our tower that was close to our keep, just to the southeast of those green dots. Somebody had just taken over it, but we ended up going back to it after we take over the supply camp, and then another tower that's directly to the east. Now, supply camps, you could probably do that with a group, small group, easy, probably 4 or 5 you could easily do it, probably even 3 if you were all pretty good players. Now towers, you could probably do that with, you know, a siege weapon and maybe like 10 people. Keeps, obviously you're going to need about 20 people, and then your garrisons, which are like right under the castles, you definitely need at least 30 to 40 people and at least 2 or 3, you know, siege weapons. Definitely a trebuchet. Trebuchets do insane damage on walls and doors. That's another thing too that's really interesting. You don't actually have to beat on the door. It's probably the best way and most efficient way to get into a castle or tower or something. But you can also bombard a wall. I was watching other Guild Wars 2 videos, and they were talking about they had seen some people actually set up a cannon and a catapult on a wall of another castle and just start bombarding a wall of another adjacent structure and just go through the wall. It was really awesome. So we just finished taking the supply camp, and it's really cool. Every time you take over something, you get XP like you were just doing a quest. You get karma points, which is kind of like your currency for PvP and other stuff like that. It's just really, really cool. Like I said, it's not the most efficient way to level, but you could definitely do it. As you see right here, there is actually, I forget what these things are called, or Dolly or something. Anyways, they carry the supplies from supply camps to towers, castles, wherever they're going. You can actually intercept those and kill them from the other servers. So say your server is trying to make a big push and take over the castle. Well, the most realistic and probably the smartest thing to do would be cut off supply to the castle. I'm only assuming in the castle the supplies is ridiculous. I know in the garrisons it was like, I think the supplies went up to like 1,000, I think, maybe 1,500. So I'm assuming for a castle it's like 3,000. So you could build all sorts of crazy trebuchets and all sorts of stuff in the castle just to defend it. From what it looked like, the castles were really only taken over during the nighttime, I guess, because there's not a lot of resistance at that point. But you know, that's where the bi-weekly change in the servers is going to be implemented, just to help balance that out, you know. See, here we have a, looks like a flame ram on the door. The ram probably, I'm trying to remember, I think it did maybe like 1,800 damage per hit, maybe 1,200. Not sure how much the trebuchets do. I heard they do a shit ton of damage, like 8k per hit. The Golem, when I was in that, it was doing like 2,200 per hit. So obviously siege weapons are a must, especially when you're going to be doing the bigger keeps, castles, and garrisons as well. Castles is probably the biggest, which is that I guess what every server is going to be really after, really. So many different spell effects in this game. I mean, as you see, I mean, there's just stuff flying off everywhere. I didn't really want to lower the graphics. I actually really enjoy it. The video was a little slow at times. I mean, there was times I was getting like less than 10 frames a second, and I have like a black edition, you know, Phenom 1090T and a 2 GB video card and 12 gigs of RAM, and it was still just kind of like. I have gotten a newer version of my video capturing program, which won't limit me to my size of my video files, so it'll be all one big continuous file, so it won't be as much lag, I'm hoping. It'll be just one continuous movie as well, instead of being chopped up into a bunch of little movies, which is kind of annoying, especially when you're trying to edit it. Rather just hit the button and not have to fucking worry about it. I am done for the warrior right here. We are about to switch over to my necromancer. I was just going back to check some stuff. Our keep was back under attack after we had went and captured a tower, a couple towers, and a supply camp. As you can see, there's all the blue invaders trying to get in there. It looks like we're pushing them back. I think then we're about to switch to me being in the golem, which was so awesome. Look at that. Just in this huge golem beating out on the door. Go, go, gadget, golem. There's a mix of expected gadget power rangers. See, look how fast that door goes down. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Only downside to the siege golem, or any of the siege weapons for that matter, really can't move them. Wherever they're placed, they're there. The siege golem, yeah, you can walk around. I guess you could walk around the whole entire map, but it's going to be one hell of a walk. I guess realistically, you could have the golem do like your starting out keep, and then start heading to like other keeps while you have your band of people, you know, heading to other little small towers and supply camps. Either way, though, the siege golem, it was so cool, very, very awesome. As you saw there, at this point, we had actually started going into the blue area a little bit, started taking over their area. And you're always susceptible to counterattacks. I mean, obviously, somebody sees that you're attacking their land, they're going to go around behind your back, start taking your lands. Then the third faction's like, oh, well, they're fighting against each other, so I'm going to start taking back some of my land. And it's just back and forth consistently all the time. Above anything else, this completely blows my mind every time I think about it, though. This game is going to be free to play. Yes, free to play. Full-blown MMO with this much fun factor, and not entirely sure how much content's going to be out there, but the World v World alone, that you're going to be able to do this just all the time for free, ridiculous. For Iron Legion. Yeah, as you can see, the golem takes forever. He's just kind of putting his way down there. I was getting a lot of shout-outs like, oh, hey, golem, so cool. Every time I saw that, it reminded me of Lord of the Rings. Golem. Yeah, so I end up abandoning my golem here in a minute. I should be switching over to my necromancer. Also equally had a lot of fun with my necromancer as well. I was actually having a lot of fun with my necromancer because I went through the first, you know, probably 7 levels of PvE, so I got a few skill points. I also leveled up my weapon skills, so I unlocked all of them. So I had a lot more abilities, unlike my warrior. The Necromancer was a lot of fun. Very, very tanky, I guess you could say. You do a lot of damage. You're more of like a debuffer. I wouldn't say there's a lot of burst DPS. As far as the what I was messing around with, I'm sure maybe other builds or something like that you could do a lot of DPS. But in my opinion, it's more of a support / debuff class, more to cause a ruckus amongst the ranks of your opponents. So yeah. Those frog people look so awesome. They were actually like frog people. Really cool. Oh, it's really cool. This was like an event earlier that we had did. Our band of people were walking around, and as you can see, they're beating on that tower door. Before that little frog area, they were being attacked by these I'm trying to remember what they were. Maybe they were centaurs? I don't know. But they were being attacked, so we helped the frogs, cleared the area out. And so we came over here to the tower. The frogs actually came over here and helped us out. It was really cool. As you can see, everybody's beating on the doors, kind of getting some lag there a little bit. I'm throwing my marks up there to kind of, break up the people that are up there, kind of trying to pick off people. So I'm just kind of causing a ruckus up there myself. Yeah, I hear in a little bit. It was actually really funny. Some blue or red invaders come off to my right here. You'll see in a minute after I kill this guy. So we're going back up here. And there they are. Sure enough. Start beating on the blues tower, and then the blues show up to try to cause a ruckus, and so I'm throwing down my marks, see a bunch of damage going on. Mind you, I'm level 80, but I only have level 7 skills, but I'm still doing a decent amount of damage, causing a ruckus. As you can see, we're starting to get pushed back. Here in a second, I'm going to use my F1 ability, which is Death Shroud. What's really cool about Death Shroud, it's like a Necromancer's oh shit button. Whenever you go into Death Shroud form, you have another bar, kind of like you see there on the down bar. It's a bar like that, but it's your life force is what they call it. And your life force just slowly starts to be taken away as you're in Death Shroud, but you don't take any damage while you're in Death Shroud, so it's almost like I'm trying to the best way to think about it. It's kind of like an icy block type skill, but you're actually mobile, and so you can just use it to kind of get away from everybody. It's really cool. See, I pop it right here, and I'm just trying to get away. It's like, run away! Run away! And obviously, as you take more damage, your life force goes down quicker too. You can also spec to have your life force be taken away slower, so you can stay in Death Shroud longer. Necromancer has a lot of utility spells too, cripples, enfeebling type spells. You can chill your foes, weaken them, make them vulnerable. As you see right there, we're running away from some blue people, and then right over the next hill there's a bunch of red fighting Lord knows what. I think another group of blue, and they're just getting took. It was, see, and it just goes to show right there that third faction is just like that X factor, which makes it that much more interesting in PvP. It was so cool. I was like, oh no, they're coming from both ends. And then I had the bright idea, like, oh, let's see what's going on behind me. And I see like 2 or 3 blue guys, and I'm like, oh, I can take those guys out. That's fine, no big deal. Yeah, the bad mistake ends up being the death of me. So much fun. If you haven't picked up Guild Wars 2, highly suggest you buy the game so you can try out the betas. So much fun. I've heard from a couple people that I played with in Star Wars that they didn't really like it. It's a WoW clone. let's face it, every game's going to be a clone of some other game. You know, what I really liked about Guild Wars 2 is they're not trying to do anything completely groundbreaking. These are all concepts that have been used in other video games, but they're taking it and making it better and making it a lot more fun. This whole keep castle setup is a million times better than it was in Warhammer. Warhammer was a nightmare. That was the worst game I think I've ever played, or MMO I've ever played, was Warhammer. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. But this keep, like, castle, you know, world v world system seems a lot more solid, and they put a lot more thought into it. And I mean, yeah, it's only beta. I mean, and it can only get better from here. So yeah, so I'm being really optimistic about this game, just for that fact that this is beta 1, and it's gonna be, you know, a lot better once the game goes live. And I just get ran over by, I don't know, 15, 20 red guys, looks like. And they're just kind of cleaning up the floor. Some guy that's left right there. Poor dude. A lot of fun. So I'm going back to my spawn point. So I decide that I want to go check what's going on. People were saying that they were attacking the castle. To be completely honest, when I got here, I was like, there's only maybe 15 people here. There is no way in hell 15 people are going to be able to take out a castle. I mean, this is going to be a type of event. If you're going to do it during the day with other players on, it's going to have to be a full-fledged at least 50 to 60 people. I guess you could do it with less if you had enough trebuchets and enough siege weapons, but even then you're going to need a lot of people to take down a castle. I mean, this whole time that I was here, they were just pretty much owning us. They had trebuchets from back behind the wall, just bombarding people, killing people. We see people dead left and right. I don't know if you saw there on the ground. The castle is really heavily fortified. I mean, see, look at that. I don't even think that's a trebuchet. It's like some kind of you know, ground-targeted bomb flame thing that just does a shit ton of damage when it hits, and then it also does AoE damage on the ground. It is insane. Yeah, castles is going to be one of those events. I think that, you know, they probably won't happen all the time, but when they do happen, it's going to be epic, to say the least. Yeah, this is pretty much the end of my video, so thanks for tuning in and watching some World v World with my Warrior and Necromancer. I will definitely try to take some more video this next beta. I really honestly just got so caught up in the game and was having so much fun that I honestly forgot a lot of the times to capture a lot of the video, just because I was having so much fun. I just completely lost track of, oh, I'm going to be taking video and posting this up on YouTube, so definitely will be doing it. What I'm probably going to end up doing for this next beta event, whenever that is, going to be covering the Guardian more. I had a lot of fun with that, showed that a bit. Let's see what else. Probably go do a little bit of the Elementalist, maybe. Probably cover the Thief if I can. I'll probably mainly focus on the Guardian. I really had a lot of fun with that, and structure PvP, and I'd really actually like to try that in World v World. There's no telling. They haven't really released any information when the next event is. I really honestly don't care when it is. I'm going to be playing it because I bought the game already. I'm just really excited for the next one when it comes out. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. This is Serrano786. See ya.